Anno is both an incredible artist who I have been enjoying so much ever since she first debuted, and also I think a massive cultural icon in Japan. But you know what? Regardless of whatever you think about her status and all the various things that she does in media and all of this, you can't deny that she comes out with a really interesting array of songs that cover so many different emotions. She gets involved in the creation of her songs, which a lot of other, sort of famous solo pop singers perhaps wouldn't. She's very much there with the core of the messaging, the lyrics. She's obviously a talented musician as well and gets involved, I believe, in the writing of a lot of the songs. So this is someone who I think she's got a lot to say for herself, but does it in a way that is genuinely just exciting for so many audiences. And this new song of hers has come out rather abruptly. We had some information about this coming out on her social media a few days ago, and then suddenly here it is, Kill Love. I don't know what to expect. We're still enjoying the latest album, and then suddenly out of nowhere, this comes out. We just had a lyric video, which was from the most recent album as well. So this has just come out of nowhere, and I'm genuinely just excited to see what Anno has got for us. So we're going to dive in. We're going to check out the new music video by Anno for Kill Love now. And a few people on my Discord have been really hyping this, saying that this is really good. So maybe they got me overexcited, but I'm a big Anno fan. By the way, if you do want to join the Discord and talk to other people who are really into Japanese music, all different types of Japanese music, find new music, share music, link as always is down below. But let's check this out, the new Anno song and video, Kill Love. Oh, there's a sound. Loving that meaningful stare. That's all a mixture of grungy piano. Getting the punky vibe from this already. It's really punky vibe going on there. Yay! It's the Puki Cat getting launched. There's a lot of Anno merch on this video. I'm loving the kind of weirdly punky relationships being shown here. I was getting over that Windows Media Editor transition, and then the chorus comes in. Nice little breakdown there. Oh, we're running into... Okay. I'm intrigued now. Second verse. So are we going to go in a different direction, or are we going to build on what we had before? Back to that tense, rumbling bass line. Building up. Love that kind of skipping drum beat there right before the chorus comes in. Did you buy him? The little piano bit's already adding some crazy way. who's getting strong Stan vibes from this. This is dark. It is dark. Now that is interesting. That is interesting. Now there's a lot to cover in here, and big credit as well always to the people involved in the making of this. There you go, full credits. Although they are so small, you probably cannot read them. But yeah, big credit. This was a really interesting one. Now, apart from anything else, eating your own finger, always a good idea. There's a lot to be said about both the song and thematically what's going on here. Now, when it comes to the song, it is definitely, we'll just get this out of the way because I think it is definitely in the realms of one of the more simple, straightforward Anno songs. I sometimes say that you've got these very raw Anno songs. I really love that she can do these, where she'll just like inject that punk vibe that very much is, it kind of feels like what she was doing with her band Eyes before. And, you know, I do love this duality that she's someone who can do these big over-the-top sort of fun, playful pop songs with all of the pop trimmings, all the over-the-top production, everything like that. And then she can come down and do something simple like a gritty 4-chord punk song like this. It does benefit from like little bits of coloring in there, like the little piano adds this kind of playfully cute, slightly chaotic feel, you know, as the guitar sort of chugging away and the bass is chugging away at the root notes and the chords. The piano's adding a little bit of this sort of almost sort of fanciful sound over the top that gives you, it kind of plays a lot with the idea of the person who's in a bit of a dream world. There is that mixture of the grittiness of the punk song underlying everything, and then that kind of playful piano over the top, making everything a little bit more airy and light. Now, the question, of course, with all of this, and by the way, I should actually point out, I really liked a lot of the changes in the drum beat. You know, fairly standard sort of stuff, but there was some nice build-ups and little skipped rhythms as we went through the pre-chorus, you know, skipping rhythms and then launched into that much more rocking chorus. But we have to talk a little bit about the theme of this song because, well, it was very clearly, you know, starts off with the woman and she's showing her partner, she's showing like all the pictures of Anno and she's like, you know, playing with the Anno merchandise. Then she's getting more and more into that. Then she's cutting her hair to look like Anno. And then she's dreaming of being with Anno. And, you know, it's very rare that I would make a direct comparison to a Western song of a different genre by, you know, a totally different artist from many years ago. But there is a reason why the word stan is in sort of common parlance, why it is a well-known slang for an obsessed fan. Because, you know, the song Stan by Eminem is, of course, extremely famous because it was probably the most famous song to really address this kind of topic of an obsessed fan. And there are so many parallels between this and that, you know, right down to the room with the posters and the merch, you know, the sort of pushing away a partner, you know, making a partner feel alienated because you want them to be more like the person you love. Right down to the fact that in, you know, the case of Stan, it was a guy who was obsessed with a guy, and here with Kill Love, it's a woman who's obsessed with a woman. You know, the parallels are really, really strong. And of course, the only difference is the ending. This doesn't quite have the same melodramatic ending, but it is it's interesting seeing that portrayed in a much shorter, punchier, punkier song. And I think what was really interesting about this is that after the actress, the woman, the character is on her own, the way she's she goes off into a happy place and she just starts dreaming and imagining being with Anno. And the interesting thing is that is probably a much more real representation of what a lot of obsessed fans probably do, because there's not really much they can do to act upon that kind of obsession other than buying merchandise and constantly talking to all the people they know about the thing they're obsessed with. And if you do it in a weird way and you push people away, you're just left by yourself in that all alone in your room, obsessed, probably going off into your dream world. It's a very interesting thing to see played out in the video. And I do like that when they do get together in this kind of dream state, she's there, she's just kind of crying and dreaming. She's got the merchandise all lying around, and then it's just kind of the way that she's relaxed and she's just kind of sleeping on Anno's shoulder. But at the same time, Anno's kind of like looking off, and she's got this slightly cheeky, almost aware, even like in the daydream, she's kind of aware that she's kind of with a fan rather than with an equal. Even the fact that the fan has got her head on Anno's shoulder, there's a real feeling that you can tell who wears the trousers in this imaginary relationship. So I think the whole way this was portrayed, really interesting. I love it. I think it's when I say that the Stan comparison, it's because it's so stark. But I don't consider this to be a copy. It's not like one person tackles a topic and no one else can. I think this does bring a fresh take to it. I think it's a little bit more realistic, a little bit more human, a little less melodramatic. And I think that the addition of the dream sequence at the end and cutting between the dream sequence and the reality of her being alone in the apartment is a really beautiful way of portraying that. And musically, this is a song that definitely will get stuck in your head. It's a good rocker. Because it's a punky song, I think it's one of those songs that will add a nice bit of variation into the Anno discography. So like when you're listening through your playlist of Anno songs, going from something more poppy into this, that's kind of the stuff that I love about Anno's playlist. You can listen for, and most of the best artists, you can sort of skip between these things, have one song that's one way and then something very different, but conjoined by that sort of artist's vision. And I love it. Again, like I say, you listen to an Anno playlist on random or something, and just you get so many different styles of music. So I think this will be great at bolstering up that catalogue of varied music that she has. I don't think it's necessarily the most catchy song that you're going to keep on coming round to. And because it's basically a 4-chord punk song, it doesn't quite have the same standout, distinct identity musically that some of her most identifiable songs do. But I think it's one of those ones that has what I was talking about earlier, that personal Anno touch, where it's more about the feeling that is being conveyed and the central message that's being put across. I think it does a really good job of putting that across. So even if it doesn't stand out as one of those songs where you go, oh, that's like my favorite Anno song, it's one of those songs where when you put it on, you're going to feel it right there. And that's something that Anno does so well. Is like just I had a conversation actually where we were jokingly, because of the similarities in name, I was talking to some people on my Discord about the difference between Anno and Ado and how they both convey emotion so powerfully. Whereas to me, it feels like Ado is like an opera singer who she sings these songs at you and she blasts you with the power of her emotion that comes from deep down in her soul, and she's just singing at you with so much volume and power. Whereas I feel like Anno is kind of like, it's almost like hearing the voice in your head. It's almost like rather than blasting you with emotion, it's like she's creeping up from inside your heart, creeping up from inside your mind. She has that incredible ability to really sort of get into the core of an emotion. So although musically this is probably one of the simpler songs, I'd say a fairly standard Anno song. Well, I say standard, like it's not like my favorite or worst. It's just like, it's a good Anno song. It's like on her usual high level of quality. It's more the emotional intelligence, that ability to create something that really has a feeling. That's what I like about this, and I think the video goes really well with it as well. And as always, Anno is just she's hamming it up. She's eating up the scenery in the video. I love this. This is a part of why I love her so much as a artist, as a musician. Great stuff. Once again, top notch. Anna, just amazing. One thing I would add, I've said this a few times before, in a weird way, like Anna's popularity as a solo artist started around the same time that Bish, the group Bish, kind of was coming to a close. And I find that rather interesting because in a way, I feel like Anno has perfectly plugged the hole that Bish left behind. Even though Bish was a group and Anno is one person, I feel like that ability to do a wide range of music Ano has. I feel like that ability to sing in different styles depending on the mood of the song, Ano absolutely has. But Ano, what she lacks in having 6 individual distinct voices, she makes up for in having a ton of character and having that ability to really hit you in a very sort of personal feeling, really convey an emotion with a sense of sincerity that is seldom seen amongst any solo artist, I'd say. Certainly a solo artist who would be usually primarily attached to the pop genre. And this is, again, why Japanese pop is so damn good and why Ano is one of, if not the best currently doing it. Anyway, there you go. Those are my thoughts. So get in the comments. As always, tell me what you think. Remember, if you want to talk more about Japanese music, we have the Discord linked below. I'm not feeling very well, which is why I keep on choking on my words. So I'm going to wrap this one up now until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.